Good day y'all and welcome in. This week's video will be my other filler idea video where I drew my cat as a Pokemon and turned those drawings into cards. Quite a mouthful. I didn't know how else to write this intro. A bit of backstory for this before we get started. You can skip to the timestamp. What the? You can skip to the timestamp here to get to the speed paint. So as y'all may be familiar, I have two videos posted where I turned my OCs into Pokemon trainers. I was familiar with Pokemon, grew up with the Game Boy and DS playing Pokemon Red, Soul Silver, Diamond, X, Ranger. This game made me realize I had issues. And in the last couple of years, I played Legends Arceus. Have yet to finish that one though. Anywho's, when making those videos, my knowledge was very limited as it had been a long time since I was into Pokemon. Skipping time a bit to May, I started getting Pokemon card content while watching shorts and found it very enjoyable to watch, like opening packs and stuff. Didn't know the Pokemon card scene was so, for lack of a better word, cuckoo-cuckoo. This led to me also coming across Pokemon TCG Pocket. Started playing that, opening digital packs, and eventually got my partner into it. This all leads somewhere, I swear. We wanted to experience opening a physical pack since we enjoyed it digitally. Come to find out, after going to 5 different stores in our area, we found absolutely nothing. My partner's birthday was around the corner, so I decided I'm an artist. What if I make a little pack for him to open as a gift? And there we have it. I turned our little furry demon, Mungo, into a Pokemon. With all that said, let's get into it. For her design, I didn't want to stray too far from her cat self, so I took inspiration from the cat-like Pokemon to construct her 3 forms. I also didn't want to do her direct colors because it'll just feel like I'm drawing her and not a Pokemon, so I kept the orange but opted for blue instead of black. I go back and forth between all the drawings. Yes, I worked on all of them in the same canvas, so the videos are spliced up. For her first form, I turned her back into a kitten, so I gave her a big old head with a tiny body and big eyes, because that seems to be a theme. Other design choices I made was her having stars in her eyes and a double tail. Stars because it always seemed like she's up to something and she's very curious, as cats are. A double tail because I always thought that design was nice. I should have looked up the cat yokai, Nekomata, while drawing her designs because it would have helped a lot. I should have kept the tail from splitting until her final evolution. The final design choice I made here to match her name Mungo is that with each evolution, a mango starts growing on her head. So her first version here is a little leaf. In the image, she's looking at cat flowers, something I enjoy drawing in my normal works. I also went with a different drawing style this time, a softer look. I feel like this style works better with certain illustrations, but it's what I was into at the time. And I think with that said, the first version and card is done. So I didn't put too much thought into the art of the second stage. My partner likes gnomes, so I drew that on a shelf and made Mungo stand there trying to reach it, because she does that in person. He has a gnome on his bedside table and she often tries to lick the beard or knock it over, so it's fitting. As this is her second stage, the mango is starting to grow, though it looks more like a tangerine here. I kept on second guessing myself with this one. It is not my favorite. I almost cut it out from the pack completely, but realized my partner would be left with a tiny bit of cards to go through, so I kept it in for that reason. Since we only see the back of her here, I drew the front of her in this image. As you can see, her eye shape changes as well. The first one is big, round, and innocent. The second is kind of mad, and you'll see the last one soon. I also gave her different attacks. Simple, but effective for her. I also made her a dark type Pokemon because she matches closely to that type more than anything. I think I'm done here now. Time for our last card. Now this one I am extra excited for. Her final evolution is a giant cat. Because in my eyes, she is a chunky cat. She had to be front and center, and to showcase her size, I added, chickens. I'm very happy with how this design came out. When she sits, she has this like rotundness and fullness in her chest that I wanted to display here. It's very fluffy. I wanted her eyes to be devious, like she's up to something. And of course, the stars have reappeared. I know they disappeared in the other one. I feel like everything I wanted to show of her showed through well here, and I'm very happy with it. There's also the fully developed mango on her head to show that she is now a full-grown mango. No, you cannot pick it off her head. I like to think it's where her single brain cell lives. Color-wise, I did have slight difficulty with the surrounding area and trying not to have her blend with the clouds, though I think everything turned out okay in the end. I did a reverse on her eyes, color-wise, where the star iris is orange and what is usually the white part for the eyes is now dark. I've seen that used for a handful of demon-like characters, so I thought it would be fitting for her as well. Really happy with how this came out, especially since it is, what would you call this, an illustration rare? I'm still getting used to the word usage. And with that, all 3 evolutions are completed. Very pleased with myself on making them. If I were to redraw them, I'd just keep the single tail until her final evolution and remember to give the second stage star irises. Other than that, she looks great to me. I hope you like how she looks as well. Here's how they look printed out and turned into physical cards. I used a paper I'm desperately trying to get rid of, so it's not that standard semi-matte type paper that is usually used with trading cards. They actually came out looking pretty good, despite me experiencing multiple technical difficulties with the paper that led to me having to glue pieces together. Other than that, my partner was happy with the surprise gift, and so that's all that matters to me. I hope y'all enjoyed watching this video. Apologies, it's another filler. Currently putting in a lot of work into my book, so I wasn't able to completely finish art for this week's video, though I'll see y'all next time with a non-filler video for sure. And as usual, have a beautiful day or night wherever you are. Goodbye!